Hey Cam.
Hey, Mike.
So we're gonna do some D&D later on, but we need to set up some characters before we do that, and we're gonna do yours today. And you've never played, correct?
Correct. Not at all. Ever, ever.
Okay. But you have ideas for what you want to make, which is good. Um, so I think what for the people who are listening, what this is gonna mainly be is me reading the Dungeons and Dragons player handbook, and then we're gonna be building your character off of that to
Is
make
this
sure that
is
they're.
this the fifth edition?
Yep, this is
Okay.
5e, fifth edition. And we'll make sure that it's got everything. Your character's got everything that she needs.
She. Yeah.
Um, so we'll just
Lovely
go for that. This is maybe a
lady.
little a long one. Maybe not too much going on because it's going to be a lot of reading, but it should be still a fun time. So, all right, you got a name picked out. What is it?
Day. It's just THE, and if you can do accents,
I
then
I can. What is it called? What's the
it's
accent?
Igu. It's
Aigu.
it's it's up. It's like it's slanted upward. It's like an upward slant. It's with an. I don't know how to spell it.
What is it called?
Igu. Accent Igu. But I have no idea how that's spelled.
Which way does it start?
It.
Bottom left or bottom right?
It's the one actually right there.
Okay.
In
No,
the,
it's the Pokemon one.
yeah. Pokemon. Yeah, because it gives you the.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Boom.
Gender, female.
Female,
Race,
half elf.
half elf. So let's actually start there, because I am assuming you don't know what um, it means to be a half elf, other than you're half elf.
A little bit, yeah, kind of.
You may hear my keyboard a lot because it's just easier to type it out.
You got some spaces there.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. I'm
I see.
purposely doing it because the way they formatted it in this, it's it's for whatever reason it's spaced out like that. Like you can't see how I'm finding names. Here we go.
Yeah, I do know a little bit about, but like half elf, like just from my own research. But I don't know what the D&D
Oh, okay.
handbook of half elf is.
So I'll just read the first excerpt. Walking two worlds, but truly belonging to neither. Half elves combine what some say are the best qualities of their elf and human parents: human curiosity, inventiveness, and ambition, tempered by the refined sense. Love of nature and artistic taste of elves. Some half elves live among humans, set apart by their emotional and physical differences, watching friends and loved ones age while time barely touches them. Others live with elves, growing restless as they reach adulthood in a timeless elven realm, while their peers continue to live as children. Many half elves are unable to fit into either society, choose lives of solidarity, wandering, or join with other misfits and outcasts in the adventuring world. So that's cool. I actually haven't read the half elf bit, so I guess they, obviously they age different than humans and age different than half elves. I think they reach adulthood around the same times as humans, but they have a much longer lifespan.
Yeah, they live like. I think this is like a little past, but it's like 200 years.
Okay, yeah.
So
The going back to the name real quick, there is no last name you have for
no,
her.
I didn't want a last
You
name.
are purposely
I
not
purposely
having a
chose
last name.
no last
Okay,
name.
cool. So they're of two worlds. Half elves look like elves. To elven, they look like humans. In height, they're on par with both parents, so they are neither slender as elves nor as broad as humans. They range from under 5 foot to about 6 feet tall, and from 100 to 180 pounds, with men only slightly taller and heavier than women. Half elf men do have facial hair and sometimes grow beards to mask their elven ancestry. Half elves half elven coloration and features lie somewhere between their human and elven elf parents, and thus show a variety of even more pronounced than they found among either race. Okay, they tend to have eyes of their elven
Yeah.
parents. Okay, cool. Here's some names that the book gives, or like how to do their name. We're not worried about that because you already have one.
Yeah,
So,
and I chose it for a very particular reason.
yep.
So
So in D&D, you're broken down into 6 parts, excuse me. That someone explained it to me in a very good way, and I can't remember what Constitution and Charisma was, but let's see if I just can't find it real quick.
I know in the little bit of research that I, like the hot second of research I did, I had seen that with half elves, so you choose like their traits and stuff, but then it's all +2. Or that was either with elves, or if it was, you get one of them gets a +2, and I can't remember which one.
We'll get to that in a second, but I was
Yeah.
going to break down someone's description of each of these. So
Yeah.
strength is the force of the body, whereas your charisma is your force of your mind. Your dexterity is your agility of the body, and your int is your agility of the mind. Constitution is the resilience of your body, whereas wisdom is the resilience of the mind. That's like someone else's words that I feel like I was able to find a very good like understanding of like what each of those means. So strength is super obvious. Dexterity is obvious. Constitution, that is your that is like your like how well
it seems like physical
is your
defense. Like your
it's your health, but it's more than that. If you have high
Yeah.
constitution, you're able to like let's say survive hotter temperatures without aid of water or magical means or like equipment, or you're able to fight off sickness easier or have a harder time fighting off if you don't have as much constitution. Your wisdom is what is it? Intellect is your ability to like remember and recall things. So like if you did I'm gonna say some things and you may not understand it yet because again you've never played D&D before, but if I were to ask you to do a history check, that would go off of your intellect because you're trying to recall what you remember, whereas I think if I were to say, hey, do an insight check, see if this person is lying, you would go off of your wisdom. Like what is your wisdom telling you? Like everything you've learned about people, not necessarily what have you like remembered about people, but like what is your intuition saying? And then charisma is essentially your likability. Like, oh, are you able to carry a conversation? Are you able to persuade someone? We're gonna do array, which is there's a couple of ways of doing it. Your points. You can roll 4 d20s, and you take is it d20? I can't remember. You would roll 4 of a certain die. Huh?
What does that mean?
D. All right. So 1 is the number of dice. D is dice or die, and then the number after that is the actual die. So 20 is the highest you can get on a decahedron or whatever it's called. So you would roll the one that has essentially a 20 on it.
Yeah, okay.
So I would roll that. I think it's the 20. It doesn't seem right, but maybe it's the D12. Anyway, we're not going to use this one.
I feel like it's 20.
Well, you know what? We'll just look it up. This is going to be a long one anyway, so screw it.
I want to say 20 just because like I said,
man, I feel bad for not knowing. I just never use this one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do roll for? Sorry.
Listen, dude. How do you roll character? Oh, it's D6.
Oh.
Yeah. Standard player, standard lead.
Talking about then.
Huh?
So I don't know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah, I was gonna say like D20 because then if you like rolled a 20, you have maximum.
Well, I had
points.
watched a guy, like.
I can't believe I thought it was 20.
Distribute points to somebody, like
Yeah.
the pointing thing, and I don't know exactly how he did it. I was like,
Okay.
oh, I guess you had 20 and you just distribute the 20 points. Listen, I don't know. I'm learning.
If we were to do that, we would roll 4 d6. So we'd roll it 4 times, and we would drop the lowest. So in this example, I use like a generator: 2, 6, 2, and 4. We drop one of the 2s, so you would have 12. You would have 12 points. It's a pretty good roll. It's not
So
amazing.
why do you drop the lowest?
Well, because it just adds a little bit of variety to. Like you don't have to drop the lowest. You could actually be like, well, my character's not that strong, so I'm gonna purposely drop the 4, or I'm gonna purposely drop the 6, so that way I have an 8 instead, and like you would have a -1 in strength, and you know there's reasons to do that, and that's actually kind of cool when people do that. They're not just trying to min-max their character; they're actually trying to role play as this character. It's like they're very stewardess. They're not gonna be like out freaking lifting out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what the other version is a point buy version, and I'm not going to get into that just because it's okay. Has its ups and downs.
That's probably what the guy did.
Yeah, maybe. It's a fine way of doing it. The only reason why I don't like doing it is because what typically ends up happening is you make a character that's very well balanced, and like nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, like I personally like it when my characters have a flaw. And
Yeah.
I
It
give them
makes
that
it more
actual flaw.
realistic.
Yeah.
Like this
So-
is a actual person in an actual world.
Yeah. So what the third version is called an array, and it's you distribute 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 yourself to these numbers. So, 8 being -1, 10 being 0, and then from there your character is a little better in each thing. I'll give you an example of what a -1 is for strength. They have trouble lifting heavy objects, whereas if you get a 3, you can carry heavy objects with one arm.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing. Like 0 or 1, a -5 is your elderly and decrepit, and like a 1 in or a -5 in dexterity, barely mobile, probably significantly paralyzed.
Have fun.
Yeah, versus a +7, which is moves like water, reacting to all situations with almost no effort. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of range we're looking in. So go ahead and sorry, I'm also using dicecloud.com to kind of do some of the things. So
Yeah.
go ahead and give me in any order, in any number, what is it you want to distribute for your character? We can go back and change this, but
Oh my
what are you
gosh.
feeling?
So I have.
So you have 8,
I have
8,
12.
10,
Oh,
12, 13, 14, 15.
8, 10.
And then 12 through 15.
S-
So
Explain that to me again.
okay, so we're assigning the value of your strength. So let's take a step back, actually, because there's something I should probably tell you about half elves. So you were kind of on the right track about they have 2 points in something, they get to pick 2. You're right, they do. They get a +2 in their charisma. Their charisma scores increases by 2, and their 2 other ability scores of your choice are increased by 1.
Yeah.
So you're naturally charismatic being a half elf. People tend to like you just because you're interesting, or pretty much because of that.
Yep.
You're attractive. You're interesting. You're almost like an oddity. So.
Sorry, I was reading the
No, you're
alignment.
good.
I was reading the alignment. Little tabby thing.
It also cuts up here too. So
yeah,
keep that in
I
mind.
realize that.
Age, since this is all text right here, half elves mature at the same rate of humans, reach adulthood around the same age of 20. They live much longer, however, often exceeding 180 years. And then they basically the alignment saying, hey, they're kind of they're both, they can range from lawful good to chaotic evil, just like how humans can. So, and then it talks about size, speed, dark vision. This stuff here, the dark vision, fey ancestry, skill, versatility. Thanks, dude. And language. It kind of just talks about perks. So we'll get into that later. And hey, people listening, this may be totally the wrong way you go about building a character. I just figured hey, maybe this is an alright path to go. Here, you wanted to be a sorcerer, right?
Sorcerer, yep.
So I'll also tell you this: your primary ability as a sorcerer is going to be actually charisma. Your saves, which you get a bonus in these types of saves when you are like basically you're in trouble. Like I got poisoned, you're going to do a Constitution save. You have a bonus in Constitution and charisma.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and fill some of these out.
Okay.
Tell me if you like it or don't like it.
So would in filling these out,
yeah,
would any kind of story help the way my character developed?
Sure.
As far as strength and stuff goes?
If your character was, let's say, we'll again, we're going to be all over the place because there's a lot of information that needs to kind of come in together at once. I totally fucking hit the microphone. Sorry about that. It needs to come in together at once in order for it to to make the puzzle complete.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look up background. And you may have like a background picked already.
I have like an idea.
Yeah. They have some already kind of. I'll tell you this. I made my own background for one of my characters. He's a courier. Basically, he delivers packages and letters that need to be outside of the traditional means, typically gray or black market, or something that's like illicit or needs to be on the down low.
Illegal.
Yeah, illegal. So, like that's a background I gave him. I gave him, I think, like you get perks for your background. Like I gave him history and I think investigation. I can't really remember, but let's see. Do they have a list? Every story has a beginning. Your character's background reveals where you came from, how you became an adventurer, your place in the world. Your fighter might have been a courageous knight or a grizzled soldier. Your wizard may have been a sage or an artisan. Your rogue might have gotten by as a guild thief or commanded an audience as a jester. Choosing a background provides an important story clues about your character's identity. Most important question to ask about your background is what changed? Why did you stop doing whatever your background describes and start adventuring? Where did you get the money to purchase your starting gear? Or did it come from a wealthy background? Why don't you have more money? How did you learn the skills of your class? What sets you apart from ordinary people who share your background? So, we'll run through them real quick. Acolyte, you spent, I'll just read like the first sentence of them. You spent your life in the service of a temple to a god or pantheon of gods. Charlatan, you've always had a way with people. You know what makes them tick. You can tease out their hearts and desires after a few minutes of conversation. You're a criminal. You experience a criminal You are an experienced criminal with a history of breaking the law. You're an entertainer. You thrive in front of an audience. You know how to entertain them, entrance them, entertain them, and even inspire them. Sorry, there's folk hero. Wait, I missed one, didn't I?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I guess not. Oh, okay. It just like
folk hero
folk hero. You come from a humble social rank, but you are destined for so much more. Guild artisan, you're a member of a artisan's guild, skilled in a particular field, and closely associated with other artisans. And then I think there's one more. There's hermit. You live in seclusion, either sheltered by community, such as monastery, or entirely alone. And noble. Maybe there's one more. Outlander. Noble, you understand wealth, power, and privilege. You carry a noble title, and your family owns land, collects taxes, and wields a significant political influence. Outlander, you grew up in the wilds, far from civilization, the comforts of town and technology. You witnessed the migration of herds larger than forest.
There's Sage.
Yep, Sage. You spent years learning lore and of the lore of the multiverse. You scour manuscripts, studied scrolls, listened to the greatest experts on the subject that interests you. Your efforts have made you a master in your field of study. And I think that's the last one, or am I just going to keep saying that? Fucking sailor. Okay. You sail on the seagoing vessel for years. Not much to say about that. And soldier. God, I'm going to say and one more time, aren't I? A war has been your life for as long as you care to remember. You trained as your youth, studied the use of the weapons and armor, learned basic survival techniques, including how to stay alive on the battlefield. Urchin, you grew up on the streets alone, orphan, poor. You have no one to watch over you or provide for you. So you learned how to provide for yourself, and I think that's the actual last one.
Okay.
I'll read you one of mine that I kind of filled out. So let's see. I didn't really fill that one out. That sucks. Let's go to my other character. Carrier. I'm just going to read it. This is one I've come up with myself, and I've given some proficiencies behind it. You found work in your young adult years traveling from city to city. People needed packages and letters delivered discreetly, hidden from the prying eyes of the law. And your aunt vouched for you. She got you going with your first set of jobs, and people took a liking to your illiteracy. You can't read. Years doing this, and you picked up some tricks. The history of the land is a little bit more known, and your body is in lean shape, prime for all the traveling you do. You still cannot read, but you carry a pleasant you can carry a pleasant conversation with a passing dwarf or two. You made a small living out of your work, and you could make a small living out of your work, and thus, oh man, all right, one more time.
You have this far.
You could make a small living out of this work, and you have thus far, but something bigger tugs at you. And so I give him athletics, history, and he has learned how to speak Dwarven, just because like it kind of fit. Like I think I also gave him some equipment.
What is his race?
He's half elf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he knows how to speak common, common, elven, and Dwarven.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's been to so many places that he's like, well, I should probably fucking learn. Yeah, so something like kind of small, and I was able to like describe his proficiencies. So if one in the player handbook doesn't fit, we can just go from something like a little bit more original. Now, obviously, like it's the DM say, and if the DM's like, no, this it doesn't really fit in the universe.
Strictly Dickly handbook.
Or yeah, I mean, because there's other books too that offer more class and race and backgrounds and things like that. So I mean, like it's not strictly just player handbook, but like I totally would understand if a DM was like, hey, look, just pick something from the book so that way I know how to work around it.
Yeah.
So that said, did any of these like catch your eye?
I don't know. No, not really. I mean, like the idea that I have like for is just, I mean, I think the closest one, I don't know, is
what's
the
up?
closest thing I could think of to
Well, how about you
would
describe it to
be
me?
like hermit, but she didn't like grow and live as a hermit, and she's not trying to live as a hermit.
So hermit doesn't necessarily mean in complete seclusion. You could be like in a temple, like I think one of them is
like as a
life of seclusion,
a monastery.
Yeah.
So like in her early years,
yeah,
like she was raised in a monk monastery.
Okay. So this actually would I was partaking communal living in accordance with a help me out.
Dictates
of a religious order. So I mean, like,
yeah,
it kind of works out.
I mean, because that was the reason I was talking to you about earlier. Like, I don't know what to make her alignment because, like, naturally, I kind of wanted to make her chaotic good.
Okay.
Because I feel like that would be like her natural alignment.
So,
but
chaotic
influence,
good would be I'm willing to break the law for the greater good.
Yeah.
Or that's
like,
maybe a little closer to neutral good.
Like, or maybe
but
that was
neutral good is like I'm gonna total line between
gosh.
breaking law and following law, whereas chaotic good is I don't care what laws are in place. I'm going to do
We've talked
good.
about alignments so many times, and I still don't remember a lot of them. There's one in particular that I felt like would be naturally her.
Okay.
And I can't remember which one. I'd have to look at the list of them again. But
is it neutral, good, lawful neutral. It's a grid.
It's
so
a chaotic something. I think it was good.
There's
This-
chaotic
a
good, chaotic
selfish,
neutral, and chaotic evil.
essentially a good person but selfish.
Okay, so neutral would be a good fit for that. Chaotic neutral.
I think that was what I wrote. I think
A
that
good
was
person, but maybe true neutral.
But you see, I didn't see her as like a true neutral. I felt like her natural, like elven way would be like more selfish and free form. But I kind of also felt like, all right, that's more of a humanistic. But then she was raised in a monastery, and then that is they.
So I mean,
selfless.
you could use that as a reason why she's not part of the monastery anymore. She like
Yeah.
left because she has these selfish, like not evil
Yeah.
selfish, but like these inherently
Like,
all about me.
this was fun while it
feelings
lasted,
and
but
such,
bye.
and shows microphone. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why she broke out of her not broke out, but like broke away from the people who raised her. So
Yeah,
if-
that's
if
kind
you-
of.
the alignment is really for the end when you start playing the character.
Yeah.
So you can like start like setting yourself some guidelines. Like I have a character that is, I think, lawful neutral, and that she's very about justice. But like in a I can't remember the complete reasons why. Like for example, my fighter Everett, he is a true
Yeah.
neutral. He doesn't.
Yep.
He's not for the law. He's not against the law. He's not good. He's not for good. He's not for evil. He's not about himself. Like he's there to make money. Essentially, he's there to like push his own agenda forward. He's helpful. He enjoys helping people. He wouldn't leave a friend behind, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't. He's not left or right. He's not front or center or front or backwards. He's right in the middle.
Yeah.
So I have a Siren, which I may change her name, but I think I made her lawful neutral. So she's for the law. She's all about justice. But she understands like sometimes bad things are done for good reason. So she's not good necessarily, and she's not it. This all really comes into play when you're playing as the character, and it could be kind of fluid up until the point where you're actually playing her. So like keep it in mind what you may want her to be.
Yeah, I wrote down on like a piece of paper I left at home.
Okay.
But I had I couldn't quite figure out the alignment of I wanted to make her, but essentially it wasn't. I felt like okay, so. She was. I guess there's like the little bit of background I thought of.
Yeah.
Where like she was left at this monastery as like
Okay.
like a baby. Like as I think I read in a lore somewhere that happens often with half elves. So she was raised in this monastery till like 16, which is still really really young, but she wanted to know more and like about her, and they just couldn't tell her.
And so like outside of that life,
And
is,
so outside
outside the monastery
of
is
the
where she could possibly find those answers.
yeah, and like that was why she wanted to leave, although they would rather her obviously just stay. And become a
So
monk. She doesn't want that and values the things that she was taught, but wants to hold on to her natural feelings, 'cause she doesn't want to step away from that. So,
sorry, I'm typing something out.
go for it. And then I thought about, well, like so many years have passed while she was out in the world.
Feel free
and
to
she
tell me
didn't-
what I should write.
That's fine.
Because this is all your character.
I'm reading it as you're writing it.
Okay. But for your bond is your association to the world itself.
Is is her wanting to find, I guess, her world.
So I wrote, I have parents out in this world. I will find who they are and why they left me. Is that
Yeah.
like a how you feel about
Kind
that?
of, yeah.
I mean, we could totally.
I
pick how you want it worded.
I mean, these are things like. I guess because I guess Kari's like I don't really know what is and what isn't allowed. I don't know how much backstory I can make.
Oh,
up
you
for
can
her.
fill the motherfucker out, dude.
Because
obviously
I
you
like
want to
the
kind of.
idea of just her being older, and not so young, and and moving on from looking for her parents
Mhm.
because it never happened, and just looking for any half elf.
Okay, so she's out like looking for not necessarily her own
That was her initial.
kinship.
That was her initial mission, and it's failed.
Okay.
So
We can go back and change that. I mean, because that doesn't sound like it really fits. So do you have like an idea what you would like? We're really bouncing all over the place, but do you have an idea of what her bond would be? Typically, would it actually be, or like if you were to go off the book, if you were to generate a character from the book, you would roll a d6 and you would pick one of these. And I'm like, that's cool, but you want the character a little bit more personal.
yeah.
So
Well,
like
I like
instead of
creative
like
writing,
another
so
hermit who also rolled a d4 or a d6 and got a 4.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I like creative writing, so, but that's why I'm like, what is and what isn't good enough, like.
So you want to see some of my characters? I mean,
Yeah.
We'll talk about mine then. So let's see. I'm
what
trying to figure out
is
who's the most
what
filled
is a
out.
good enough bond and what isn't, I suppose.
So I'll read Relkith Veldin. I think so. I've decided that this character, that's not his last name. That is his aunt's, who is not actually his aunt, just someone who took him in and started like offering, like, hey, look, here's a way to make some money. So he's a chaotic good male half elf. He's age 20. He's height 5'8", weight 166. He's kind of like a small, thin boy. Yeah, he's a small boy for a half elf. I mean, he is. I gave him. So I typically give my characters 2 personality traits, 2 flaws, and I was telling you this at work that one's major, one's minor. For his personality traits, Locke. Man, let me edit that real quick. I like doing this before I commit it to paper, so that way it doesn't like I don't have to like keep rewriting things.
Yep.
Locke's just hide away the good stuff. Even better if it's a book. So that's one of them. He really likes books, and he's curious. He wants to know what's on the other side of a lock. If there's a lock there, fucking bet your ass he wants to try to pick it. I may be a thief, but I'm never dishonest. I hate lying unless it'll get someone hurt. So he doesn't like to lie. I think I kind of reflected that. I never gave him... I gave him sleight of hand, but I didn't give him... I guess persuasion's the best bet, or best description for like lying. Where's deception? I thought deception was one of them.
Yeah, it is deception.
Yeah. He only has a +1 in deception, and that's because he has a +1 in charisma. So he's not really good at lying. He doesn't like to lie, and he would much rather not, unless someone's going to get hurt, and then that's when he will. So kind of 2 personality traits. You can see how these would come in play while like the group is role playing. Like if a guy asks him a question, he's probably going to answer it honestly. His ideal, he has aspirations. Much was kept from me as a child. Schooling, something. Oh, I was going to fill that out with something. I forgot. I was like, I wanted 3 items, but I couldn't think of a third. So, schooling, blank, an honest life. Now, nothing can stop me from learning and improving myself and others like me. So he wants to improve himself. And he wants to help those who are in similar situations as him, like who are kind of like left on the street, didn't really have a family. His bond, his attachment to the world itself. My aunt, she's not actually related to me, but still took care of me, and now it's my turn to take care after her. So, kind of simple. A DM who went into
good wholesome boy.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's chaotic good. He wants to pick locks, but he doesn't want to lie, and he doesn't want... Yeah. He wants people like him helped in any way he could. And, like, a DM could definitely use his bond as, like, what if his aunt got kidnapped by the enemy? Yeah. Like, by the big bad? What if he... like,
you would do that to your special boy?
Huh?
You'd do that?
I mean, I wouldn't DM my own character, but a DM could. What if he was offered, hey, look, like I will take care of you and any family you have. Like I'll set you up in like a nice, like tax-free apartment in the city, and then
just do some illegal stuff for me.
Yeah, I mean, what if? I mean, he might take whoever's offering this offer up. He might take it on. His flaws. I would hesitate to attack an unarmed opponent, and I'm against killing in general. So obviously he probably won't do any killing, but his party might, and he might not like that. The barbarian in the group is like cutting heads off or anything like that. And then the last one, kind of a minor one. I truly don't know the value of gold. Is 15 pieces a lot?
That's cute.
Yeah. So, maybe he's offered a whole bunch of gold, but he turns it down because he's like, I don't. It seemed like a hard task, but it turns out like it was really worth it. Yeah. Or maybe he does something for someone, and it's like, here's 10 pieces.
He's like,
there you go. He's like, thanks, man.
Yeah. Someone's fucking really shortchanged him.
Yeah. So like those are the kind of things I built for him. I gave some hooks from the moment gameplay. My archer fighter. Friends are faster lost than found. I do what I can to keep them though. This one is from the book actually. I'm driven by a wanderlust that takes me to new places. Always something new around the corner. His ideal is I'll prove that I'm worth leaving a mark on this world. His bond is my bloodline has dwindled down, and I think it's because something lurks and stalks us. One day I will have to confront it and put it down. So that's kind of a fun thing. His flaw is I'm never satisfied with what I have, or with what I have accomplished. Yeah. There's always more to be had. And then his minor flaw, the elven folk, I can't say no to a pretty one.
That's cute. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you had mentioned that one at work.
Yep. I like that one a lot. That he just can't say no to a pretty elven boy or girl. He just
like, damn. Yeah. Like, oh.
So yeah, like I kind of gave these aren't super detailed, but they could be used in different ways against him.
Yeah.
In aid of him. He's 28. He's 5'10", or he's 5'9". He's 179. Kind of lean, kind of like, he's
a swimmer bod.
Yeah, like he's an outlander, and I think so. I haven't wrote this out, but he's an outlander because his town expects every able-bodied person, man, woman, child, who is able to like pick up a sword or shoot or like loose an arrow, like you're expected to fight. Because we're constantly being raided by orcs, and he came home one day to a dead family, and he was like, well, fuck, if I stay, I definitely can't leave, because they're going to want me to stay to help fight these orcs, whereas, like if I stay, I'm here forever, because they won't let me stay, or they won't let me leave, rather. So, this is my opportunity, if I wanted to get away from this, being city watch, day in, day out, just because I have a strong back and I can shoot a crossbow really well. He's like, fuck it, I'm leaving, and he left. He left his town, and he was like, fuck it, I'm not here to fight these orcs. They've been raiding our wagons and our caravans, and eventually
enough
they're
is
gonna overrun
enough.
it. Yeah,
here's an opportunity, I'm taking it.
Yeah, and so he just lived on his own, and what he's doing now, I filled out his inventory with typical survival stuff like rations, mess kit, bedroll. I guess I didn't give it to him. I gave him a navigator's kit, so I think I'm gonna give him like a compass. And his goal, he just wants to explore the world. He always just wanted to do that, and now that he's free, he wants to just go to town, and he'll probably pick up odd jobs, being like, I'll protect your caravan.
He can be like whomever.
Yeah. He can just do whatever. He'll go out and he'll hunt if he needs food. If he needs coin, he'll go and take on odd jobs, and as long as it gets him to a new place, he's fairly happy. But yeah, those are my two characters. I have another one that I'm kind of working on. One is this is a minor flaw. I like this one a lot. I make some coin from the hunting and trading I do. With the little I get, I can't help but to indulge my sweet tooth.
Oh, yeah.
And then the kin of the mountains have done much, dwarves, she's speaking of dwarves, mountain dwarves in particular, have done much, let me start over. The kin of the mountain, I guess it should be mountains. Anyway, have done me a great deal of service. I vow to treat them all with kindness and respect given to me. So she just naturally wants to help out dwarves. Like she sees a dwarf, she wants to
Yeah.
salute him or bow to him or treat him with respect and honor because
Like she feels indebted.
Yes, exactly. And I haven't really filled out anything else. So, do you have any thoughts on what you would like your character to? I'm just trying to like chip at this as much as I can.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess I haven't thought like that much detail about it. So
You also haven't like thought about like how does your character fit into this world. So like I totally understand. Do you feel okay with her background being a hermit though? Her skill proficiencies that she gains in medicine and religion. So she knows about those just from her background. Like I just know about these things.
That is fine with me.
Okay.
Just because I felt like that would be appropriate.
Yeah.
In how.
Yeah.
And how she was raised, and if I were to have her go out into the world, she would in search of. She would be a hermit. I mean, she would live as a hermit. I mean, she's not gonna just go right on it and be like.
I feel like she spent a lot of her life, from the sounds of it, at least until she was 16, doing this monastery life.
Yeah.
So, like, her being a hermit is not a bad fit.
Yeah, like. I guess because I think, like.
You get to learn an extra language of your choice.
Oh, well, fuck. So, I want to just, like, explain the little, like, I guess
You don't have to pick now, by the way.
Thing behind her name.
Okay.
So, don't kill me. So
I already know, so don't worry.
I mean, you know that's tea in French.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked. Did I say this at work?
Yeah, you did.
I explained why I liked it.
Oh, maybe not.
I liked the idea of during like her very young life, even before she was 16.
Is that
when
even
she
her
was,
name?
That is the name I gave her.
But I mean, like, were they like? Was she left on the stoop?
Nope.
With like a name saying, "This is my daughter."
No,
Oops.
she's just there.
Okay.
But I like the idea of when the monks were like when she was able to understand what people were saying. They were offering her tea, and they were saying it.
Oh, so she took that.
So she thought that was her name.
Oh, that's super cool.
I'm like, aw, you sweet little baby.
Yeah,
no,
you
but
dumb baby, little baby dummy.
So that is what everyone called her,
That's
and what she called
real
herself.
Good name, dude.
That's why I chose tea. And I didn't want anything else. I chose nothing else. I felt like that was very
so
appropriate.
Dumb. We just didn't tell her otherwise.
They're just like, okay, that's what you want.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you get plus. Sorry, I'm filling out.
No,
you're
fine. That was probably my favorite thing that I chose.
Yeah,
it was just her name, and I sat. You know how I was thinking of like, what do I want? I probably sat there for like 30 minutes trying to figure out what I want to name her. I even looked up like name generators, and I was like, what I could name her this or whatever, but I just nothing felt right. And
okay, fair enough, dude.
T is what felt right.
Yeah, that's super good. Let's see. Oh, you don't pick your weapons in this one, so.
Oh, fucking finger. Sorry, whoopsies.
I definitely want this to be your character, by the way. So I would only ever offer you suggestions. The stuff I'm filling out is like you're half elf. You get these bonuses.
Yeah. Okay.
I will. So I kind of want to go back to your stats. No, never mind. Screw it. I don't want any input on that. I want that all to be you. You are what is it? Sorcerer.
Just as like a side. An aside. SORCERER.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
As like an aside. Can you like? Is this like a thing that anyone can look at? Like, can I look at this?
You would have to get my login information. But I can make it public.
That's what I was asking. Is like, is there like a link you could send people to this kind of thing? Or
Yeah, I think so. I think there was something where it was like, oh yeah, I could share it. So I could share it, and then anyone with the link, and then I would just email them this link.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm only doing it on mine because I don't know. I didn't want to make a new account. I just want to kind of get into it, like start rolling.
I'm not like.
I'm only doing this. Like I said, when I finish all my characters, I'm committing them to paper, and then that's when they'll be finalized. Like this is just so I can help build it and like learn all the things. Like if you go over here, I entered that you're a half elf, and it gave you 2 to your base, so it gave you a +1. So because you're half, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like over here, if I go to my half elf, it's like 8, 16, and it's like you got 1 because of half elf, and your base is 15. See?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
no,
doing
apologize.
my thing.
And that PDF.
Yes.
Can you share this PDF with anybody?
Yes, I can share it with you. I have a. It's a legal copy, but
What?
It's a legal copy.
All right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I have one that's in color too.
I don't
Look,
need that.
I have
It's
the
fine.
book. But so like whatever. I just need to so we can both look at it. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's easier just to pull it up on
And then
dual
you
screen that shit.
Fucking Control F and find it, and whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally
like
whatever.
fucking Flippy McGee here.
What is it? C? Source?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
SORCERER.
All right. I wanted to look up what your
Raw magic.
what you get. So you know how to use.
Whoa.
All right. So proficiencies as a sorcerer, you know how to use weapon. Sorry. Oh, there
No,
we
you're
go.
fine. Only because I asked just because I wanna edit I wanna read that.
Yeah.
And then edit.
I don't know about
this.
edit. I could just give you. I don't know.
Well, whenever you share, you
you
have
could
the
probably
option
just copy it over.
of whenever you share.
Sorry, I should let you talk.
Whenever you can share, it had the option of like to anybody with link, and then you put the email in, and then you have the option of can edit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's like, hold on, dude.
Slow down. All right.
So, so I can read and then edit.
Do you have an idea what she is gonna use as like a weapon? Like, is it just gonna be a staff or
No,
dagger?
I hadn't thought that far.
Yeah.
But again, mostly because I don't know a lot about like these kind of.
Wait, could I
worlds.
just do comma? Oh, I totally could. All right. All right. I'm
Whatever.
gonna
Don't do that. Just
You want it
keep,
like this?
I like it like that.
Okay. See,
Sorry,
like,
it's extra work, but it's
no,
easier for me
it
to-
would be extra work to change it.
It's easier
But like if you
sort
go
out
to
in
my
brain.
character, like it's like my proficiencies are labeled like this, so it's all simple: crossbow hand, long sword, rapier,
Yeah.
short sword. But yours is just gonna look like this now, so it's essentially the same. But
It looks exactly
I could
the
also
same,
just
so I don't
do
know
weapon,
what's different.
dagger, da 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 da. I like it like this too.
Anywho, so again, sorry I haven't thought more.
No, like
As dumb as this kind of sounds, maybe I don't know what's allowed and what isn't allowed.
well, it's
Me, I'm just like if you like if I didn't have to follow any kind of rules or structure of anything.
It's not so much about what's allowed. It's so much about like, so you're a hermit and you get bonuses from that.
yeah, and
That's
like,
what is.
don't know any of that.
So I mean, like, it's all about like. Obviously, there's rules to being a sorcerer. Like you have spells that you can summon, but like maybe a wizard couldn't. There's
Yeah.
rules to that, but that's all about like there's spell slots and that's all outside of that. It's more about you tell me about her, and then we'll build a character based off of that. Like, is she exceptionally strong?
Like physically.
Yeah. Can she
Lift a rock with one arm? No.
Yeah, so like where does she fit in on this?
Like in strength, when I was like,
Yeah,
let's
does
see.
she have difficulty pushing an object of her weight
Like I like the 12 to 3.
that carries a heavy object for a short distance?
Yeah,
So
or the 2. I mean either or, but probably mostly 1.
yeah.
Just because if she's, I mean, even though they live a long time, and that little portion of her like life, she spent learning mental training.
Yeah.
And if she's living as a hermit, I didn't imagine her living in like some fucking rough and tough like terrain, like where she had to be strong.
Okay.
I just imagine.
So then how about this? You rank. We'll do it like this. Rank her abilities. What you give me her biggest and her weakest or in any way. So let's start with number 1. What is her most dominant quality? Is she very agile? Is she very intelligent? She has a wisdom to her. What would you say is her best trait?
Probably what you said, like wisdom or charisma. I mean,
cool.
wisdom or charisma, right there. Just because
we'll just tie them and we'll figure out
her strongest traits are going to be mental.
Okay. So
her
would
weaker
you say
ones will be physical.
So then how about just we'll give oh sorry we'll do all right, chill out. Someone's trying to get a hold of me. So charisma is your most important stat, but I'm not going to make it her highest one. For as a sorcerer, it's one of her most important. Does that make sense? Am I saying words that make sense? Hi, Cam.
Sorry, I'm reading this fucking drama.
Oh,
Wait,
fun.
Go ahead. Say it again.
Sorry, dude. I'm trying to. Oh man, I wish I guess it's on that chart still. I'm gonna. Charisma is like a really important stat for sorcerers, but I'm not gonna make it her number 1 for a reason I can explain later.
No, it's okay. I look like that girl got no top on.
She got no toppy. Sorry, we're scrolling through the book because I'm trying to find that fucking thing where it like breaks down each class, but of course I'm a fucking lazy asshole. Oh no, Art Druid. So we're close because we're in Druid. Barbarian should be next. No, Cleric. ABC. So Barbarian's next. Yep, there's Barbarian. All right. For a Sorcerer, Constitution and Charisma are number 1. So let's do. You said her she's more mind than body.
Yeah.
So Wisdom, Charisma, Int.
Uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Let's do Constitution next. Because it's just important to her as a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Then is she more agile or is her strength? Which one is
I like agility over strength.
So let's do Dex and then strength.
Like quick.
Yeah. Okay. So how does this look? She's very wise, has a lot of charisma, has intellect to her body, health, and then her agility.
I like
and
this
then her
order of things.
Okay. So I'm gonna take this.
If I would have to rank things, I guess.
Yeah.
Without any number.
Yeah.
Then yes, this is how I would end up ranking.
So
things.
I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna change this to point array. And again, people may have way different ways on doing this, but like, I don't know what to tell you. Screw you. This is just how I know how to build a character, and I'm trying to help Cam. Like, I'm walking him through this. So, Constitution. It's gonna be 12. Int 13. Your wisdom is 15. And then your charisma is 14. So let's go back to this. I wonder if it just doesn't do much for you, wisdom. Because like sometimes for clerics, it's I think like some of your attacks. Oh yeah, it's off your charisma. Oh well, wisdom's still cool for other things. Yeah, if you're happy with this, then I'm happy with it too, dude.
Animal handling. What's the Arcana? What is that?
Oh, this.
Yeah.
So sorry, Cam's looking at the skills on the side. So this is
Perception 12. What? Sorry.
Yeah, that's you're not. Yeah, okay. These are skills. So like, let's say you were like, there's a bar fight, and you wanted one of them to say, "You just knock it off, or I'm gonna beat your ass." That would be an intimidation. So you would take your intimidation,
Yeah.
Which is a 3, and you would add it to your roll, and then you would go off a check, and it's basically like, so Arcana is the other one you asked about. Like if you found a magical item, and you would have to do an Arcana check to see if your character knew what that was. Like throughout her years of living in a monastery, maybe one of the monks spoke about this book that is really holy, and then when you touch it, you are like, you can feel your body mending itself, and you're like, oh, I know what this is. This is a book, or it's from this library that has like a bunch of enchanted books, or you could have, you understood something about it.
Yeah.
And each of these are just a different skill. So medicine is your ability to apply medicine. Like there's a poison, I have this antidote, or I know how to make the salve to fight off the poison.
Yeah.
Nature is just like your understanding of nature. Like, oh, we shouldn't go this way because there's quicksand, because these woods are famous for it. These are all just like your different checks, and they're based off of these numbers: your strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Except for strength isn't one, because the only one, and dex only does acrobatics. So it's really based off your intelligence, your wisdom, your charisma, and your constitution.
Yeah.
Like your survival is based off your constitution. Oh, just kidding. It's based off your wisdom.
Oops.
Yeah.
So then why are the couple checked in, and so like why is history and religion?
Because if you remember, your background as a hermit gave you proficiency in history and religion.
Yeah. So then I have to go in and would have to go in and check things. Or am I just not proficient in anything other than history and religion?
So you are. We just haven't chosen them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So I was
like,
I did. This sounds stupid, but I thought maybe something was like auto-generating. I was like,
oh, I mean, some of it is. I mean, I'm telling it these things, but for example, Brelketh, he has a bunch. He has acrobatics from being a half-elf.
Yeah.
Because, they're kind of dexterous group. He has Arcana from being a half-elf, because, they're magically inclined. He is athletic from his background, because he was a carrier. He did a lot of running.
Yeah.
He has history because of his background. He has insight because of his class. He's a rogue. So he has insight on people, and that's just because as he develops himself into a better and better rogue, he's like, oh, I can kind of understand what people say when they say these words. Same thing for performance. He's able to perform well if he's like trying to juggle or something like that.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand, rogue, stealth. There's an ability for rogues called expertise. I get to pick one and be like, he's fucking super badass at this thing, and I chose stealth.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and everything else is just like, he has a +2 in medicine because he's kind of a wise kid. He's got 2 in wisdom, he's got 2 in intelligence. So, yeah, some of them it's class, some of it's race, some of it's background.
Okay.
I'll go back and add those in. So I'm also gonna do this one thing for you, just because it's a thing you don't understand, but
okay.
You can see that 8 is -1, 10 is 0, 12 is +1. So every 2 is a plus above. Every 2 above 10 is a +1. So just like how 16 is, 6. 16 minus 10 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3. He has a +3 in his charisma. You get what I'm saying? So if it was a 15, it's only +2. Whereas if it's 16, it's +3. It's this fucking worst way to describe it.
Okay.
But basically, for every 2, it's above or below 10, it changes. So it is above 2 only one time in intelligence because it's a 13. Because you can't go 1.5.
Sure.
Okay, all right. I'm
So,
gonna try to explain it one more time.
Are you talking about like the which numbers
like,
you're talking about?
These are he has an 8 strength. The base is 10. 10 is
Don't
like
listen to her.
super average. He is 2 below the 10, so he's -1. So just divide the number that he's below or above by 2.
10 is
0.
0.
Because it's
Right. Okay.
it's
so
right on the line.
since her strength is
this is my character. This is your
me.
character. Sorry. I'm going back to mine.
okay, so since his strength is 2 below
The baseline.
your baseline, which is 10.
Yep.
It's base 10.
Yep.
It'll be a -1.
Yep. It's -1 because for every 2 you go below or above, you add or
So
subtract.
since it's a base 10, so it's like 2, 4, 6. Then there's your 3.
Yeah.
So then
Yep.
that's why you have +3 on dexterity.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
But your character doesn't have +3 in wisdom because it needs to go up. It can't. It doesn't round up. It rounds down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So knowing that, I'm going to because of your race, you get 2 in charisma and you get 2 in your choice. If you're cool with it, I'm just going to give you 2 charisma, +1 in wisdom, +1 intelligence, so you beat the threshold, and you go from a +1 to a +2, and a +2 to a +3.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah,
Cool with that?
because by default I already get.
Yeah, you're right there. You're like right on the edge, so you might as well just like bump it up a little.
Yeah, I get you.
Nope, I want it half elf. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm not saying that like this is bad or anything, but your character's not fully optimized, which again,
I don't know what that means.
Like, if you wanted the most like badass kickery sorcerer, you would just dump all your points in charisma and
Constitution. I think
Constitution.
that's stupid. So
Yeah, hey, look, more power to you, dude. Like, I'm
not here to make a fucking Hulk. So
you're not here to max min.
I'm here to just have a good time.
I mean, people like doing that, and there's no.
You know what? More power to you, but
There's nothing wrong about that. But if you go to my character, my fighter, he uses ranged weapons, which uses his dexterity as a modifier for his attack.
Yeah.
So like if you go here, I guess it's +4 because he's he's proficient in it, and also because of his dex.
Mm-hmm.
I could have had him be +3. I could have just gave him all 16 points instead of the 14. But you know what? Like, it made more sense that he's super healthy, that he has a high constitution. And like his charisma's not high. He's kind of wise. He's kind of intelligent, but like these are his main focus. Like his strength, his dexterity, and his constitution. And so I was like, I'm gonna focus my points in those.
It's like that physical.
Yeah, he's on the physical end of the spectrum, and like he's not hateable. Like no one like, oh, I gotta talk to this guy again. He's just like right in the middle.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, like I totally, I think I did that with my rogue. There's really no benefit in him having wisdom. I think it's like intelligence and dexterity. But I was like, he's kind of. He's dexterous. That's probably his main feature. But he's also kind of wise, and he's also kind of intelligent, even though he's illiterate. So
Yeah.
Anyway, kind of got off topic. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. We jump around, obviously. Oh Jesus.
Let's see. As a half elf, your base speed is 30. Where is it? Where the fuck is that? tell me if you want to go home. By the way, like we'll put a pin in it and
I'm
come
gonna
back
have to
to
go.
it.
I'm gonna have to go soon.
Yeah,
I
figured.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah. Man, I cannot find base speed. This is freaking me out, dude. Should be near the top, right? Because the base starts with a B. Maybe it's not in effect. Maybe it's not proficiency.
Listen to this fucko. Sorry. Hold
on, we're almost done. You got something to say off the
I do
podcast
have something to say.
Is it about D&D?
No.
Okay, then we'll do it off mic. Oh, there's speed.
Yeah.
Base 30. Okay. And then do you get stuff as sorcerer?
That's why I want this this book. This
book.
like I want to look at this like
Yeah.
I'll so I can read and understand actually like
I'll let you
actually
check
understand.
it out. So you get to choose 2 from Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, or Religion. Obviously, we're not gonna pick Religion because you're already proficient in that. I don't think you could be double proficient in something. Holy shit, can you be double? Hey, fuck it. Anyway, what of these skills do you think she would be best at? Like understanding enchanted
Arcana
items
and Insight.
Yeah, okay, cool. Didn't have to go too hard inside. Yeah, Deception, Persuasion, and Intimidation. Those are like a very either hard yes or hard no on some of those. So let's go to Sorcerer.
I mean, like being. I mean, okay, not that this is correct, but I feel like being charismatic should also be kind of persuasive naturally. But that's not something I want to. I feel like you would use that for not good things. I feel like definitely like Arcana and Insight.
Persuasion
isn't
necessarily bad. What if it was like, I need.
I know.
But like you can use it however you want though. It's up to you. However, if let's say you're like, fuck, we're not going to be able to go inside this cave and fight all these kobolds. Please, guard or like the person that's giving you the
hey group, how about we just fucking don't? And here's why.
No, you wouldn't be able to like persuade. It is late. Persuading the group is something different because obviously they're playable characters. You can't just like, I'm going to persuade you, I'm going to roll 20, and you're going to have to do what I say. Yeah. It's more like you are given this mission, like, hey, if you want my help, you have to go in this cave and kill these kobolds that are fucking with us, whatever, blah, 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 whatever reason. And you'd be like, listen, like, I want to help you, but this is a task that's beyond us. We're just we're a group of adventurers. We can only accomplish so much. Give us, like, some of your men to help us. And then you would use a persuasion check to see, like, are they going to come along? Or he's like, fine, I will send you one of my best men. Or if you do really well, he'll be like, fine, here's 3 archers. Don't get them killed. Bring them back alive. Come back to see me whenever the mission's over, or, when the task is done. Like, that would be persuasion. It's not necessarily, like...
It's for deception.
Yeah.
Because they're different things.
The deception would be more lying. Persuading would be like, please, dude, help me out. Or like you did a good job, and you want a bigger reward, you would persuade them into.
Yeah, but that's like, just not something I feel like.
I mean, hey, dude, I'm not gonna try to make your character, but like I'm just saying, like, it doesn't have to be like a negative thing. So you said Arcana.
Yeah, and Insight.
What is it? Oops. Yeah, skill and Insight. Arcana and Insight. Cool. So I think that's a good stopping point for today, just because it's almost 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'll share this character with
not
you.
PM.
Yeah. We'll take a look at skills and I'll explain what that means. A lot of this is going to come later, so just keep in mind what you want to bring, what flaws you want to attribute to T, and what bonds, ideals, personality traits. I'm gonna leave that to you. You'll either next time we'll do this. Either you'll have them already in there, or
I would like to have them already in there,
and then we'll just talk about why they are. We'll just explain it out. Yeah. So that'll be a fun time. I think you also get another language, so
yeah, you said
ponder upon that.
Yeah.
And I'll send this to you. So I think that's it for now, guys. I had fun.
I enjoyed just
It's a little
chatting,
hour-long thing.
learning. Like I don't know nothing about. I don't know nothing. Fuck. I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons.
Slay, dude. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Hey,
So
it's
this is
a lot to learn.
I'm a little overwhelmed at this particular moment, but
and it's been a while since I've played, and it's extra kind of demanding because I want to be like a really good DM, and I gotta like learn all the different mechanics, and I gotta be able to help people do exactly this, like make their first character. So yeah, all right, bye guys.
bye.